Good morning. It's Ben from I'm Not Licensed. I'm going to try to get this done with dogs playing in the background. I don't know if it's going to work very well or not, but anyways, so this is round two. As I was talking to a therapist friend of mine who is licensed, was telling her, I've just got a lot of shit going on in here and stuff to vent about, things to talk about, and there's just so many things over my almost half-century old tenure here on Earth that I've got that I could vent about, talk about, whatnot. And all of it is mostly just opinion based. It doesn't have any merit, or I don't use it against anybody or anything of that nature. Even when I consider bitching about stuff, I'm really not. It's not like I feel like the world's going to change because I feel like everybody should be better. But anyways, the one thing that's really, really just at the forefront of my mind right now is that the whole dating of single moms, right? So when I get to the end of this, it's going to be the telltale part of the entire video, because there's a very important message here. But I just wanted to start off with how difficult it is, not just dating in the US nowadays, but ultimately dating like a single mom, right? She's got kids, she's in her own way, she's got a job, she's got to have the house all straightened out, she's got to have the kids all lined up, she's got to do this and that and the other thing. But then there's also so many things where, when you grow up in an old-fashioned style household or whatnot, or even if you don't really grow up in that style of household, you feel like the kids and everybody should have more value to themselves, right? And they should bring more value to the table. And then also, too, the parents should actually hold these kids more accountable, because what happens? These kids nowadays, what do? Their phone raises them. They wear headphones in public. They have no situational awareness. They think nothing bad is ever going to happen to them. They're lazy as shit. They don't have any level of responsibility. They don't really know how to survive. So the key that I've been trying to drive home recently is that, it's not your job as a parent to be these kids' best friend and to do everything for them. Excuse me. Wipe their nose, wipe their ass, make their lunch, kiss their ass, buy them this, buy them that, take care of this, take care of that. Basically be at their beck and call. It's not your job, right? So my biggest fight recently has been that subject in general, which is your job as a parent, single male or female, is not to drag these kids through life, and then when they get to 18 years old and you say, well, good luck, go out into the world and flourish. Your job as a parent is to teach them how to brush their teeth, do their laundry, wash the dishes, sweep the floor, vacuum, pick up their dirty clothes, clean their own bathroom, do basic human domestic responsibilities, so when they do get out there into the world, they're not just clueless, right? Take for instance, let's say you think you're doing everything right, and you're like, I'm just gonna cut my kids meat for them so that they don't have to do it, and I don't want them to hurt themselves, and blah 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 blah. And it's like, okay, cool. So then let's just hypothetically say excuse me, kid goes over to a friend's house, for a party or whatnot. All of a sudden it's like, hey, what are we having for dinner? We're having steaks and whatnot. Okay, cool. Mom drops a steak on the plate, drops the plate in front of the kid, vegetables, whatever the case is, and they're like, well, can you cut my meat for me? And the parent's like, no. You don't know how to do that? Why do you not know how to do that? How do you not know how to do that? Why do you not know how to do that? Oh, because my mom does it for me. How old are you? Right? So those are like the things that you think of, and you think to yourself, is it just me that's just complaining because I feel like a kid is lazy? No. I feel like I'm complaining because that kid is being shortchanged in life, in the sense of not being able to learn these things. And so when they get out there into the real world and they end up falling on their face, and maybe they don't, for all I know. Perfect example, right? I was married for a lot of years. I had a stepson. He had poor time management. He wanted to just drag his feet all day long. All he wanted to do was play video games, and he wanted to be a recluse and stay in his room, be an introvert, and play video games and whatnot, right? So don't get me wrong. I love to play video games too, right? But you have responsibilities in life. You have to learn this shit, because when you get out there into the real world, there's not a manual. You don't get a manual that says, oh, here's the things that you should do throughout the course of your day, and here's how you do them, and this is how you accomplish all these goals. You're supposed to be getting that type of learning at home. So his time management was really shitty, and then he would get pissed off when it came time to do it all at once, right? Instead of chipping away and taking little small bites, he would actually just like drag his feet, and then he would end up having to do it all at once. Well, that sucks, because right now it's like, now you're spending an entire day cleaning your room, making your bed, doing your laundry, doing this, doing that, all of these responsibilities that you probably should have been doing all week long or all throughout the day or whatnot, but you wanted to wait till the very last minute, and then you want to be shitty because all of a sudden, oh, well, now I have to spend my whole day doing this, that, or the other thing. And it's like, well, your time management is poor. So let me teach you how to do that. How me teach you how to make a better use of your time, so that way you don't have to do that. If you take little bites out of it, then you can spend your day doing things, right? Well, okay, maybe when he gets older and he goes out into the world and he finds a partner and whatnot, maybe things will change, right? Smart kid, really smart kid actually, in network security. And so you give them the benefit of the doubt, and they go off on their own, and then you find out that they're just fucking slobs. And you're like, okay, well, I tried. I tried to teach you the way that you want to do it, or the way that it should be done, so that way you could get all your shit done, and you would have time to be able to spend time with yourself, with your family, with your friends, on your video game and whatnot. But once you get out into the world and you choose not to do those things, well, then that's on you, right? I've done my part to try to teach you how to make it to where you could get through all of your day through, doing little things here and there and getting your responsibilities done. So in that way, at the end of the day, you can put your feet up and say, I'm done. I do whatever I want. Sit in front of the TV and play PlayStation for hours on it, or whatever you want to be. Or you could go out there and say, you know what, fuck it, I'm just going to just do whatever I want, and I'm just going to be lazy and not do these things. Okay. But you're not going to put that on me, because I didn't teach you how to do it, right? So, fast forward to now, kind of in the same predicament. I don't know why I have this affection for single moms. I don't know what it is, but whatever the case is, right? A couple of kids, same thing. It's just all day long of just this, and this. And the justification is, oh, well, they've just been doing it for so long that that's just the way that they're used to doing it. It's like, but does that mean that it's right? No, it doesn't. But that's just my opinion, right? So my opinion is, well, just because they've been doing it this long doesn't mean that it's right. They're not teaching them anything. They're not learning anything. And when it comes time to go out into the real world, they're not going to learn anything. So when the kids' friends come over and stuff like that, I like to question them, hey, do you have to do this kind of stuff at your house? And they're like, oh, yeah, absolutely. And I think to myself, and I look over at the other kid, and I'm like, your friends do this shit. Why don't you? I look at the mom, and I'm like, her friends do this stuff. Why doesn't she? Oh, burr, 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 burr. And it's always, what is it? It's always going to be a justification, or it's going to be an excuse, because, let's face it, mom's got that whole mama bear thing, and they don't want to put their kids out there like that, and I don't want to make my kids feel bad, and I don't want to make them feel self-conscious because they don't have to do the things that their friends have to do, and so on and so forth. And the reality is that their friends are looking at them like, well, that's because you're lazy, and you don't have to do it, and your mom's not going to make you do it, so why would you do it, right? I mean, I wouldn't do it if I didn't have to do it, and I'm almost 50 years old. So I'm like, well, I don't want to do that. I would love to just sit in front of the TV and play PlayStation all day long. Absolutely. But the reality is that you don't get to do those things as an adult, because shit has to get done. The trash has to be taken out. The dishes have to be done. Laundry's got to be taken care of. Got to make the bed. You got to brush your teeth. You got to wipe your ass. You got to pick up after yourself throughout the course of the day. If you have pets, they have their responsibilities all on their own. You got to take care of the pets. You got to take care of your house. You got to lock the doors. You got to make sure you do all of these things. But if you walk through life with blinders on because mommy always does it for you, you don't learn anything. And so that's like the power struggle that I'm currently having as of right now. I know it's like fast forward through all of these years of life, right? Because I'm like, well, I got to tell stories about growing up and what it was like growing up being poor, because I legitimately was one of those kids that grew up poor, not one of those kids that has a silver spoon in their mouth and it did then, but then want to say, oh, I grew up poor just so that I can, make people feel bad for me. No, I legit did. So there's a lot of that stuff that is coming down the pike. I meant to get on here and make a video yesterday. I had a delivery to do, a boat down in Southwest Florida, so that was a fun day on the water. But yeah, I just wanted to fast forward to that because that seems to be like a large portion of my aggravation in life right now. Because I'm like, you meet somebody and they're a great person and you enjoy them, you enjoy their company, you even enjoy their kids and their pets and whatnot. And then as you start getting past these months and months that go on and the honeymoon starts to slowly dissipate and you think, well, what's changing? Why are things changing? And it's like, oh, well, things tend to be changing because you keep opening your mouth. You're always wanting to buck the system. You always want to change things. You always want to teach the kids how to be more responsible. It's like, I don't know if anybody knows. I mean, maybe again, I'm not licensed, so I don't really know. I can't really do the whole psychoanalysis thing or whatever, but why kids just don't want to do it. Why is it? Why do kids just prefer to just float through life and let someone else pick up the pieces? Let someone else pick up their dirty laundry. Let someone else take out the trash for them when it's full instead of putting their trash on top of more trash and then just leaving it. Like, I don't understand why kids today are just so fucking lazy. I know that part of it is this phone. Absolutely. Social media has been raising these kids for decades. COVID definitely made a huge dent in, teaching kids responsibility. When parents should have been at home teaching their kids how to be more responsible, all they did was like, well, little Johnny's sitting at home, so better just let him have his phone all day long, and then he can just play video games and communicate with his online friends and communicate with his social media friends through his phone, because that's the easiest answer. Because why? Well, you can't go outside. You can't go out and hang out with your friends. So we've been conditioned. Well, now that COVID's been gone for years now, why have we not gone back to the old way? Well, because we're lazy as humans. We don't want to. Oh, I just want to sit at home in my little shelter and I don't want to go outside. I don't want to go make friends. I don't want to go meet people. I don't want to go spend any time out in public. Don't get me wrong. Public is a shithole. Society's a cesspool of idiots. I'm not going to lie. I'm part of that society. I have those tendencies. I am that guy. Trust me when I tell you this. But, you got to do it. You can't Uber Eats everything. You can't Grubhub everything. You can't have everything delivered. I mean, I guess you could, but you got to go to work to be able to afford to pay for these things. So, with all that being said, here is the I guess the silver lining to this whole thing, right? And I'm happy to listen to everybody's comments that reads this. I don't know that if I ever get to be like Mr. Beast status or like big time and I have millions of followers and whatnot, that I'm going to be able to be going through comments and reading them and responding to them. But I mean, you never know. Anything's possible, right? Could win the lottery tomorrow, and this could be my daytime job just for fun. But anyways, going back to that after my tirade. So those are some of the downsides to the whole single mom thing, right? And I've watched a lot of YouTube videos about why not to date single moms, and they all say the same thing, and they're not wrong. You're not going to be a priority. You're always going to be the outsider looking in. You're not their dad. You know, we've been doing it we've been doing it this way since before you were around. Why is it any different now? What's wrong with the way we do things? We, they, me, right? Because you're not really coming into a relationship, are you? No, you're kind of like a transferred employee from another office, and you're never going to be an equal, ever, unless those kids move out. And then let's face it, you can treat these kids like gold, and you can let them walk all over you like a doormat and an area rug. But then what happens when they move out? They move out and they leave. And guess what? And it was all for nothing at that point. I mean, if you've got a great relationship with your kids, that's great. Good luck to you. And, you know, if you can continue to maintain that over the years, absolutely good luck to you. But the reality is, we all grow up, we all move out, we all move on, we all find partners, we all have kids, families, and whatnot. And it's just not feasible that you're going to constantly have that intertwined relationship with your kids. Let's face it. It sucks to say that. I know that, I mean, my kids are grown up. They've moved. They're moved out. I do the best I possibly can to keep communication with them. But the reality is that they're both adults. They both have lives of their own. And it's just not happening. But anyway, so back to what I was originally going to say at the very end of this video, which is what I prefaced at the beginning of the video. There is a very big positive to dating single moms. And here it is. If I hadn't taken a chance on a single mom almost 19 and a half years ago, I wouldn't have the daughter that I have. And I know that it took a long time to get there. I know that there was a lot of trials, tribulations, drama, and whatnot to get there. But I got there, and I've got an absolutely wonderful kid who's now 19 years old. And she is just, I mean, I couldn't be more proud of her. But if I had listened to all the critics and said, not going to date single moms, I'm only going to go date single chicks, then I take that back. I would not have my kid, because who knows? I might get sucked into a relationship with a girl that doesn't want to have kids. So it's not all bad. You know, single moms are people too. Everybody deserves love. Single moms, single dads, single grandmas, single grandpas, whatever the case is. Everybody deserves love, no matter how shitty you are as a human being or anything of that nature. Everybody deserves it. You just got to find it. And so, like I said, if I hadn't taken a chance on a single mom 19 years ago, I wouldn't have my kid. So they're not all bad. Sometimes you just have to put up with a little bit more. But there are a lot of pluses. Home-cooked meals. You know, when you are this priority, you are the priority. It's very seldom, but sometimes. But, yeah. That's my thing. So I got some ideas milling around in the old fucking noodle back up here to decide as to what to do next. I mean, I've got, years and years and years of life experiences to throw out here. And this is a great opportunity for me to just vent. And maybe somebody that's watching this might actually have some constructive criticism, may even have somewhat of the same lifestyle that I've led over the years. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe you just want to vent. Maybe you just want somebody to vent to, talk to, It's an impartial human being. Like, that was the main thing that when I was going to therapy was what I wanted. I don't want you to take notes. I don't want you to fix me. I don't want you to read my brain and try to figure out what's wrong with me. I just want you to listen and participate. That's it. Kind of like sex. I just need a willing participant. I don't need I don't need all the acrobatics, and I don't need all the extra, you know? But no, it's like for therapy, that's seriously. Just listen, be impartial. Because the problem with people nowadays is like when you go and you vent to your friends, right? Your friends already have a preconceived notion as to what this person is like because they've already listened to you talk about that person. And so therefore, now they already have judgment about that person. So all it turns out to be is a bitching session, and you don't really ever get anything positive out of it because it's just two people bitching about somebody else. So, yeah. But anyways, so that's my rant for today. My vent, whatever you want to call it. Once again, I'm Ben. I'm not licensed. I'm just looking to have a good time. Vent, talk, bullshit, flourish, be happy, figure life out, Figure I'm probably 2/3 of the way through it now, so let's see what the future holds. Till next time, have a great day.